Artfight is most definitely one of the biggest yearly events inside the art community. People design and attack each other's original characters for points. Attacking might sound a bit too harsh though, because in all reality you're just drawing someone's OC and sharing it with everyone. And now, I was looking to get into the fight. I'm able to draw in quite a few styles, so I was wondering what weapon I should use in my arsenal. And as you might have guessed by the title, I wanted to create a superhero using the comic book style. Something I haven't seen before, so maybe I can become the first to do so on Artfight. I'll take you through the whole process, and just maybe, you'll actually learn something. Probably not though, I kinda messed up. About that later. Coming up with a unique character wasn't that difficult, at least not compared to coming up with a power. With there being so many superheroes, there's also a lot of superpowers, and it makes it quite difficult to come up with a unique one. In the end, I settled on radiation manipulation, a power I personally haven't really heard about. Radiation itself is able to do a lot of things, like ripping electrons from atoms, providing a shield to the Earth, and more that is a bit too smart for me. It's basically just giving someone the power of cancer. Wait, isn't that just Deadpool? No. Out of all the possible powers I could have given, I only chose a few, which was the ability to create and manipulate force fields, being able to condense radiation for large bursts of power, and the ability to disguise oneself by manipulating the area around them. And for his job, which will be explained later, he also is able to observe everything, even in outer space. Now, as you can see during my yap, the design is coming along very nicely. The brainstorm phase is me just thought vomiting basically. It's seeing what ideas are working and what isn't working and then mixing them all together. If you're wondering, by the way, how I learned to draw like this, I learned everything about my comic book style from David Finch. He has like everything on hatching, shading, he's just really good. Truth be told, I hadn't drawn in this style for quite some time, so I had to relearn and unlearn a few things, but all in all, I think I still got it. With this character being all spacey and stuff, I thought I should involve some of those ideas in the design. So here, around his neck, I added a ring like how Saturnus has one, with some planets on top. And this thing is an ancient tool used for something that I honestly forgot, because I don't know the name anymore. Yeah. The rest of the elements have more to do with like his powers, like the robes and his big eye. And for the sword, I thought it would be a cool trump card kind of thing. Like when anime characters power up and just scream and then they just beat the shit out of the opponent, kinda like that. He would pull the sword out of his chest and will be able to use it to fight. But also die. A last-ditch effort kind of thing. But of course, looks aren't the only thing that matter. In a hero you need character, integrity, and responsibility. Or you can throw that all out the window and just make a funny gag character. Cockshot! Well, I thought I could do a bit of both. The more fun side of his personality will be a lot like a mischievous little pest, using its powers to go around and explore its new environment, Earth. And obviously, because he doesn't know anything, he messes around and accidentally causes a lot of mayhem, that kind of stuff. Yet no one knows it's him, because of course he can cloak himself. On the other hand, there's a trained, battle-hardened soldier, who takes serious matters, well, seriously. Because these two personalities are so different, sometimes it can get people confused. Usually being all nice and then suddenly becoming really serious when something happens. You don't really see this in the design, which is a mistake on my part, but I do think the design fits the more serious personality very well. And the traditional part is now finished! So I switched to digital. I just do this because it's way easier to ink and finalize the design. So, let's get to work. Taking some inspiration from other people's character sheets, I noted down a few things. You need at least 2 angles, front and back. And to the side, you need a larger, more active pose. I also saw some examples where they had active images or close-ups. And considering the helmet and the stomach were already pretty detailed, I thought it would be a smart thing to include. And maybe for a cool action pose, I could make him pull out the blade from his chest or something like that. It will definitely give people enough images to work with. And to subdivide these images, I used panels. The same little squares you see in comics. Get it? Okay. Now, amazingly, Clip Studio actually has a feature for this, which I didn't use. It didn't matter that much though, because I wanted to do something cool with the borders, taking inspiration from the ring around his neck, so we're all good at that department. I already had the design, but there was one more thing I had to figure out. The colors. Now it might really surprise you, but when you look at this time-lapse, you might notice that I have no clue what I'm doing, like what the fuck? This splash of color only really served one purpose, and that was to figure out the palette I was going to use. I settled on a bluish purples and yellow, which honestly is kinda basic, yet still wanting to make it a bit interesting though, I wanted to add some green. How? Yeah, I still had to figure that one out. At least I knew how much of each color I would use, using a little rule. You want 60 to 70% of one color, 20 to 30 of another color, and 10% of an accent color. This prevents your designs from becoming clouded or messy. So I mostly use bluish purples and a bit of yellow, and for the little accents or extra flair, I used a bit of green. As you can see, it already looked really nice on these three angles. Oh yeah, no, I added another angle, just forgot to mention that. And then for this bad boy, I haven't even said anything about this. This is the blade that is embedded in his chest. Metals have a spectrum of reflectivity, where they are better able to reflect certain wavelengths and absorb others. That's why gold only reflects yellows and reds, and something like aluminium reflects pretty much everything. I could go into more detail, but I'm not a nerd, and this is a cool channel. Right? Subscribe. Real quick, before going to his backstory, I just wanted to point out one really cool little tiny detail, which was completely unintentional by the way. You might notice that along the front view there are these little yellow orbs, all aligned. Kind of like how you see in those school posters of the galaxy. Completely unintentional by the way. Just wanted to point that out. You don't care? Yeah, okay. Anyways, here's his backstory. The current Soleste, also known as Zephyr, is an alien from another galaxy. He's from the planet Clay, a quite similar planet to Earth, living a secluded life under the watchful eye of the previous Soleste. Zephyr's family, along with a select few others, had been chosen as candidates to inherit the honor of Soleste. It's an honor that is bestowed upon only one being, and it grants radiation manipulation alongside being able to observe everything in the observable universe. After enduring countless trials, Zephyr was ultimately chosen as the new Soleste, becoming the 12th to carry the weight. To withstand the immense power of the mantle, he underwent a lot of operations to his legs, transforming his body into a vessel capable of containing its energy. Unfortunately for Clay though, the elders had chosen incorrectly. Rather than embracing the responsibility of protecting the galaxy and its home planet Clay, Zephyr became arrogant, using his newfound abilities for personal gain, and treating the mantle as a luxury instead of a duty. His negligence came at a devastating cost. On one of his outings, an enormous Lith, a large skink-like dragon, came to Clay and consumed all the souls of the inhabitants. Burdened by the guilt of being unable to protect those who he loved, he now dedicates his life to finding the Lith and defeating it. Until that day may come, he's taking refuge on Earth, protecting it from danger and still observing the universe, keeping a watchful eye over all. Now you might understand why his personality is so split. On the one hand, there's still a clear side of him that is curious and wants to have fun, but on the other hand, after the tragic event that occurred, he is a lot more serious about his duty. That's what I came up with anyways. Just before I show you the completely finals 100% done final piece, I just quickly wanted to say that I am opening commissions. I am broke as all hell and I kinda need money. I'll be studying in a couple of weeks, so I would really appreciate that. If you do want to commission me, there's a link to my website in the description. And while you're down there, just hit the button for me. Did you do it? No? Well, go do it. Without further ado, here is Soleste, the Intergalactic Observer. As usual, thanks for watching until the end. Truly, I really wanted to attack someone as well, but I just didn't have the time. Don't clip that sentence out of context, that sounds a bit bad. I like playing cards. And with that, I'll end the video. Bye!